building a new metropolis in the shadow of Singapore. Malaysia's ambitious plans reach a critical point.
Some of the early investors have pulled out because the infrastructure was built too slowly. A lot of them missed the milestones that they wanted.
Plus, tailor-made, a fashionista's guide to Kuala Lumpur.
KL is the best place for shopping. Amazing.
And Carmen lives life on the edge.
We there yet?
Hello, I'm Fiona Foster. Welcome to Fast Track from Malaysia. Just over the causeway there is Singapore, which split from the Malaysian Federation some 46 years ago. Over here is an area called Iskandar, 3 times the size of Singapore, which Malaysia is determined to develop into a hub of finance, education and tourism in order to take advantage of its close proximity to its wealthy neighbour. So, if they build it, will the tourists come? If all goes to plan, by 2025, the 2,000 square kilometres of land around the town of Johor Bahru in southern Malaysia should look like this. A thriving metropolis of 3 million people called Iskandar, with a financial centre, medical facilities, internationally recognised colleges, high-end housing, plus luxury hotels and theme parks, attracting tourists from all over the world. It's a hugely ambitious vision for an area which up till now has been seen as a cheap weekend playground for Singaporeans.
The currency is very attractive to exchange and the variety here is fantastic. Price is cheaper than in Singapore, like the movies is like cost half of what in Singapore.
The main reason I'm here because the things are cheaper and can save more money. If there are more discounts and for better brands, I'll probably be coming here more often.
And if you look across the white structure, that's the largest restaurant in Legoland.
2012 has been dubbed a tipping point for the project, a moment of truth when investors will be either convinced or dissuaded of the feasibility of the whole vision. It's hoped that projects like Asia's first Legoland, taking shape on 76 acres and due to open next year, will attract 1 million visitors annually and provide 1,000 jobs.
Legoland Malaysia, Asia's first Legoland.
The idea is to turn Singapore and Iskandar into an appealing prospect as a 2-centre holiday destination.
That's part of the plan. We are increasing the size of the cake, with Singapore having Universal Studios, Johor having Legoland Malaysia. Tourists, short-haul, long-haul tourists will come and stay in this particular region longer and spend that tourist money in this region.
To that end, several flagship projects are under construction. This is a $5 billion marina development, which is hoped, with a traders' hotel and an indoor theme park slated to open next year, will end up being one of Iskandar's prime tourist attractions. And by the end of this year, Southeast Asia's first premium shopping outlet centre will be offering discounted international designer goods to an anticipated 4 million visitors a year.
We need to develop what we term as catalyst projects. They are important because catalyst projects not only create the type of spillover and the multiplier effect from employment as well as from the clustering of other types of industry, but because of the brand that they bring in, they would definitely bring the crowd.
But there are those who are critical of the Iskandar project's sluggish progress so far, 5 years after it was launched.
I think Iskandar started off very ambitiously, but it's been very slow. So far, we've only got government buildings there, some property play in terms of housing, but private sector has been, investment has been really slow. Some of the early investors have pulled out because the infrastructure was built too slowly. A lot of them missed the milestones that they wanted. The other issue is There's too many government personnel who have changed. Some who have resigned, some have been sacked. So there's no continuity. So nobody puts on a unified message what Iskandar is all about.
And we have an office up in KL as well.
At the moment, Thistle is the only international hotel chain in Iskandar.
I mean, all you need to do is look out there. I mean, Singapore's there.
Manager Dean Rossili is looking forward to the Shangri-La and Marriott groups opening hotels next year to build momentum.
I think by having more than just ourselves as an international brand will help us drive the rates. It will also attract more tourism from further abroad, really people that know the brands better, because outside of us, primarily all the hotels in this area are Malaysian based hotels. So it will certainly put us on the map, certainly create further recognition.
Tax breaks and other incentives like exemption from Malaysian quota rules, allowing companies to be 100% foreign-owned and foreign-staffed, are being offered to attract investors.
Right now the property syndrome is stagnant and a little bit bubble here and there.
Although this is good for business, it's something which worries this local politician.
A lot of incentive provided by the government give two advantages to the foreign investment. We welcome foreign investment, but at the same time there must be a limit. So they cannot jeopardize our future of Johorian as well as Malaysian in terms of ownership of the property, in terms of job opportunity, in terms of even national security.
Haji Zulkifli Ahmad thinks local people are in danger of losing out in the realisation of the Iskandar dream. He claims that land for the development is being acquired too cheaply from locals, and they're subsequently being priced out of the property market.
By having one of the incentives for foreigners, whereby they can own more than 3 properties at one time for property worth 250,000 and above. So right now what happened, a lot of developers develop high-end property at a higher price, which is beyond the effort of local people.
We have done our part to extend this information to the people who own land, that if they were to have offers for the purchase of their land, they need to ensure that it will be at the right price, not to be tempted by people who really want to take advantage of the situation. But at the same time, we are mindful of the fact that this is a free market.
Singapore is expected to be the single biggest investor here, and for many Singaporeans, the space to breathe and grow offered by Iskandar is very attractive. The housing market in Singapore is too pricey for some, like Dr. Leslie Young, who's working alongside her husband at the Newcastle University Medical Faculty in Iskandar's Edu-City.
I'm not sure exactly what the cost of housing in Singapore would be, but certainly when we were thinking about the possibility of living there as opposed to here, we'd have only been able to afford an apartment as opposed to a house with a garden and access to a pool and things. So it's certainly for us, much better lifestyle.
The analogy being made here is that Iskandar will be like Shenzhen to Singapore's Hong Kong, and the result will be closer ties in a relationship which doesn't always run smoothly.
To a certain extent, there is a realization that after all, at the end of the day, we need each other. So we need not only to compete, but also to collaborate. In the planning for Iskandar Malaysia, we are actually bringing Singapore as part and parcel of our planning for the bigger Iskandar. We also know for a fact that even Singapore also planning for the bigger Singapore to include Iskandar Malaysia in their economic planning. So it means that there is going to be synergy between the two.
So the first real test for Iskandar is approaching. Malaysia is counting on Iskandar to help the country become a fully developed nation by 2020. Its eventual success will depend on both investors and tourists being impressed by the first wave of completed projects next year, and of course, on the continued growth of the Asian economies. The brand new metropolis taking shape in southern Malaysia, and we will of course keep you posted on how it's all going. And if you've got any thoughts on that or anything else we feature in the programme for that matter, do let us know at our usual address, fasttracktravel@bbc.co.uk. Now, let's have a look at what else is making the news in the world of travel this week.
Mosquito warnings are being issued for parts of Greece after 6 cases of malaria were confirmed there. The virus has been reported in 2 parts of the country. Health officials, though, still say the chance of catching it is extremely low. In the US, there'll be more compensation in the future for passengers bumped from oversold flights. New guidelines will also see airlines fined $27,500 if an international flight is delayed for more than 4 hours. And plans for the world's first space hotel have been drawn up by a company from Russia. The trip will cost about $1 million for a 5-day stay. Don't get overexcited though, guests will have to eat freeze-dried food, take sponge baths and use vacuum toilets.
Stay with us, because coming up after the break, we're all set in the city as Malaysia's Prince of Fashion takes us on a tour of Kuala Lumpur. And we take the high road into one of the loftiest peaks in Southeast Asia.
4,095 metres above sea level, this is Lowe's Peak.